Welcome to the True Crime Never Sleeps podcast. I am your host, Larry Leese. Today we're exploring the story of Tara Calico, a young woman whose tragic disappearance and murder remains a mystery for over 30 years. This case has garnered national attention with countless investigators, journalists, and true crime enthusiasts attempting to piece together the clues that might bring Tara's killer to justice. In this episode, we're examining the facts surrounding her life, disappearance, and death. We'll break down some leads and theories, as well as the challenges faced by law enforcement officials throughout the investigation. Additionally, we'll explore the impact that Tara's case has had on her family, the local community, and society as a whole. Tara's case is an important reminder that many individuals whose lives have been cut short by senseless acts of violence, and the families and communities left to grieve without answers. Join us as we honor Tara's memory by seeking the truth about her untimely death. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Tara Calico was born on February 28, 1969, in Belen, New Mexico. She was the oldest of three children, born to John and Patty, and grew up in a loving household alongside her siblings, Chris and Michelle. Her parents were divorced, but she remained close to both of them and frequently visited her father in Florida. Tara was a bright and active young woman who excelled academically and enjoyed a variety of hobbies and interests. She was an avid reader, a talented artist, and a dedicated athlete who ran track and played tennis. In her free time, she liked to listen to music, watch movies, and spend time with her family and friends. On September 20th, 1988, Tara disappeared while on a morning bike ride near her home in Belen. She had planned to meet her mother, Patty, at a nearby country store after her ride, but never arrived. A search was immediately launched with volunteers and law enforcement combing the area for any signs of the missing young woman. Her bike was eventually discovered alongside a busy highway with no signs of Tara. The disappearance of Tara Calico quickly gained national attention, with media outlets reporting on the case and the search for the missing young woman. Despite extensive efforts to locate her, including searches of the surrounding desert and appeals to the public for information, she remained missing for over a year. It wasn't until June of 1989 that a breakthrough was made in the case, when two women discovered a Polaroid photo in a convenience store parking lot in Port St. Joe, Florida. The photo showed two bound and gagged individuals, with one of them resembling Tara Calico. The other individual has never been identified. The discovery of the photo sparked renewed interest in the case and led to a series of investigations and theories about what happened to Tara Calico. Her disappearance on September 20th, 1988 was a shock to the community, and the subsequent investigation was one of the most intensive, in New Mexico's history. The timeline of events leading up to Tara's disappearance begins on the morning of September 20th, when she left her mother's house for a bike ride, planning to meet at a nearby convenience store. She was riding her mother's pink, Huffy mountain bike and wearing a Walkman headphones and black shorts. When she failed to show up, her mother immediately reported her missing, and a massive search was launched. The search lasted for weeks and involved hundreds of volunteers and law enforcement officers, as well as helicopters and search dogs. Despite extensive efforts, no trace of Tara was found, and the case remained unsolved for over a year. During this time, her family never gave up hope of finding her and held vigils and fundraisers to support the search. In 1989, a hiker found a bundle of clothing in a desert area near Elephant Butte Lake, about 20 miles north of where Tara had disappeared. The clothes, which included a white shirt, a pair of men's underwear, and black sweatpants, were identified as belonging to Tara. This discovery renewed the investigation into her disappearance, and investigators focused on the clothing as potential evidence. Months later, a local man discovered Tara's bike lying next to Highway 47, about a mile and a half from where she was last seen. The bike appeared to have been hit by a car, with a tire bent and the rear wheel locked up. Investigators believe that the bike had been placed at the scene to suggest that Tara had been hit by a car, but they could not find any evidence to support this theory. Despite the discovery of her belongings, there was still no sign of Tara. Her family continued to hold out hope for her safe return, but as time passed, they began to fear the worst. In the years following her disappearance, there have been a number of possible sightings and leads that have been investigated by law enforcement and private investigators. While none of these leads have definitely solved the case, they have provided possible clues and insights into what might have happened to Tara. One of the most intriguing leads in the case is the Polaroid photograph discovered in Florida in 1989. The photo shows a young woman and a young boy bound and gagged and bears a striking resemblance to Tara Calico. The other individual, like we said, has still never been identified, and the circumstances surrounding the photo's discovery still remains a mystery. Despite extensive analysis of the photo and numerous leads that have been investigated as a result, the identities of the individuals in the photo and the location of the photo's taking remain unknown. There have also been numerous possible sightings of Tara reported over the years, both within the U.S. and globally. Some witnesses claim to have seen a young woman resembling Tara in the company of a man or a group of men, while others report seeing a woman who resembles Tara living under an assumed name. Many of these sightings have been investigated, but none have led to a definitive resolution of the case. In addition to possible sightings, investigators have explored numerous theories about what may have happened to Tara. Some theories suggest that she was abducted by a group of individuals for an unknown reason, while others suggest that she may have been the victim of a crime of opportunity. Still, others propose that Tara's disappearance may have been related to her father's involvement in a high-profile legal case at the time. Despite the many theories that have been proposed, none have been confirmed, and the case remains unsolved. Overall, the possible sightings and leads in the case underscore the many challenges faced by investigators in unsolved cases. While these leads can provide valuable insight and clues, they also can create confusion and uncertainty, and ultimately may not lead to the resolution of the case. Despite the challenges, however, Tara's family and supporters are committed to seeking justice for her and bringing your killer to justice. The investigation into Tara Calico's disappearance was one of the most extensive in New Mexico's history. Like we said, involving hundreds of law enforcement, volunteers, and private investigators. And despite this, in their best efforts, the case remains unsolved for years, with few leads and not much evidence to really guide investigators. The case presented numerous challenges, including the lack of a clear motive for the crime, the large number of potential suspects and witnesses, and the difficulty of searching the vast desert landscape where Tara was last seen. Over the years, various law enforcement agencies have been involved in the investigation of Tara's case, including the New Mexico State Police, the FBI, and local sheriff's offices. These agencies have worked together to share information, coordinate searches, pursue leads, but ultimately the case is still unsolved. Despite numerous tips and potential suspects, no one has ever been charged with Tara's murder, and her family has never received closure. In recent years, new developments have emerged in the Tara Calico case, including advances in DNA technology and the discovery of new evidence. In 2013, a man named Michael Henley came forward claiming to have information about Tara's murder. According to Henley, he had witnessed her abduction by two men and had later seen her body buried in the desert. Despite this information, however, Henley's credibility has been called into question, and no new evidence has been found to support his claims. Additionally, in 2018, the Valencia County Sheriff's Office announced they had discovered a new piece of evidence related to Tara's case. The evidence was not revealed to the public, but authorities stated that it had been sent to a forensic laboratory for analysis. It remains unclear what, and if any, impact this new evidence will have on the investigation. Overall, the investigation and legal proceedings in the Tara Calico case highlight the many challenges and complexities of solving a cold case. Despite the dedication and tireless efforts of law enforcement officials, Tara's murder remains unsolved. Her family continues day and night to search for answers and justice. The case serves as a reminder of the many victims of unsolved crimes and the ongoing need for resources and support for families and communities affected by these tragedies. The Calico case has had a profound impact on the community and society as a whole. It has brought attention to the issues of unsolved crimes and the toll that it can take on victims, families, and communities. Additionally, the case has served as a reminder of the importance of seeking justice for victims and holding perpetrators accountable for their actions. The role of media and public awareness has been critical to the impact of the Tara Calico case. Through national and international coverage of the case, the public has been made aware of the ongoing search for Tara and the efforts to solve the case. The awareness has led to an outpouring of support for the family and a renewed focus on the issue of unsolved crimes. The case has also been featured in a number of true crime books and podcasts, bringing even greater attention to the case and the issue of unsolved crimes. The legacy of Tara Calico is one of resilience and perseverance in the face of tragedy. Despite the many challenges faced by her family and the investigators working on the case, they have never given up hope of finding answers and bringing her killer to justice. Her story has inspired many to speak out on behalf of victims of unsolved crimes and to push for greater resources and support for those affected by these tragedies. And that is our case for this Cold Case Friday. Let us know your thoughts on this case. What do you think happened? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, give us a thumbs up if you like our video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button to be notified of future videos. And as always, you can support the channel by buying us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TCNS. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, be able to pay them, and create even more content, and hopefully take this show on the road. And we can make that dream a reality with your support. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.